I'm using glass puzzle pieces in lime plain and lime iridized. Handy to have a marker, that way you can just trim to fit. I've drawn a line which I'm just going to follow, and I'm using Wild Bond glue, which is non-toxic and dries clear, so I'll just work in an area at a time. So I'll just start here, and I'm running all of the nice straight edges along the bottom first, and then I'll go and backfill in. But I'm going to fill in the top here now. So if you get your marker, you can always just put a little line where you need to cut them off. So that's going to go in there. Put my marker there. I've got a little tiny bit there, so I'm just going to cut a little triangle bit to go there. So that's going to be perfect there. Same with here, so it's quite good because they are all different sizes, so sometimes you can just pick one that is a triangle shape, which that's going to fit in nicely there, and I'm just going to mark it out. Same thing again. Pinch some glue from here, and also one in here. So it's really handy working with a marker pen just to mark those lines. Nothing worse than thinking you know where to cut and then you pick it up and you can't remember which way to cut it. Take a little bit off there actually. Okay, we'll just carry on through here. So I'm always going to keep straight edges on the top and the bottom. Okay, I've got some little 12mm glass Smarties here, which I'm just going to turn into little cute little flowers. So this is a little fun project. Also some Milleflora. So we're just going to group them into groups of 6 to make some cute flowers. I've also got some glass matchsticks, which I've cut into 3. And we're going to make some flowers with these as well. And also some beautiful glass leaves, which we're just going to put in the little gaps in that. So we'll start to arrange them. So I've got a beautiful lime green glass stick here, which I'm just going to cut into little pieces. So it'll be just perfect in these little awkward gaps. It's always good to do this while the glue is still wet. So I'm just going to do some little triangle. Oh, I think everybody's at work today. Decided to come in when we're doing a video. Anyway, we are a working studio, so we'll just have to put up with the noise. So I've just got these little tiny bits. So these are really handy when you started gluing in your flowers. If you just pop them in now, it's so much easier to get them in now where you've got the glue in there than trying to put them in there when there's dried glue in there. So it's just, don't have to be perfect, it's just to give a little bit of colour to bring that green through. So it's like it's part of the leaves. Tweezers are always really good just to manoeuvre them in there. A little bit for here. So it might seem fiddly, but the overall result is going to be lovely. So we'll just carry on filling it with flowers. And as I said, as we go, just pop in our little bits of green and our little bits of leaves. Put a little bit in there. Sometimes if you put a little bit on just use this. Sometimes if you put a little bit on here, a tile or a bit of scrap paper, the ideal, you can basically just pick up then dip it in and then drop it into where you need it to go and rearrange it. Beautiful. Right, and keep filling with flowers. Okay, now ready for the background colour. I'm going to use blue puzzle pieces. I've got a mix of plain and also the iridized. So same thing again, I'm going to go through, put all the straight edges on the edge first, and then I'll backfill. And this will be all blue for the sky. Okay, now I've got straight edges along here. I'm going to backfill. So same thing again, use your marker. It's always good to have a pile of the puzzle pieces handy. You can sort of pick up and see what sort of shape. For example, these ones are going to need like little triangle shape. So sort of sift through till you find one you think is going to be suitable. That's going to be popped in here. And then, as I said, just do your drawing where you need to basically cut. So I'm going to cut a bit off there. And a little bit out of here. This one here, same thing again, pick up roughly sort of the shape that we want. Just going to kind of be it's almost like a little bit of a square. You might go this way. Right, that's the top part of the blue done. I'm going to continue on deciding what I'm going to do here. I was going to kind of do some grass bits here, but I'm thinking I'm actually just going to bring the green up. Bring it up to here. Because I'm out of ideas. I was thinking maybe some grass, a couple of daisies, I don't know. But I'll bring the grass up to here, so then we just continue on with some more green puzzle pieces. These also have a right and a wrong side, so sometimes it can be quite hard to tell. That's actually the underside, see it's a little bit more grainier, and that's the smooth side, so just always double check before you stick them down. Right, just got this side to go. Make sure you give yourself a little bit of a sweep up if you've got any sharp shards anywhere. Okay, finished the back fill. We're gonna, oops, no we haven't, there's some little hidey pieces there. We are just gonna let it dry. And I'll show you grouting this one because there's a few different heights. I know a lot of people have got concerns about how to grout around the certain heights and that, but there's the close-up. So we'll backfill, and I probably will go black grout. I know I like my black grout. And then we'll do that tomorrow, and then we'll take the paper off and we can reveal our little putty cats. I'm going to hunt out some little ladybugs. I think would be quite nice. Yeah. So until tomorrow. Going to do a dry sprinkle test to have a look. I've got light grey here, and then I've got slate grey, and I do have black because it's not a dark black. So what I'm going to do is just do a sprinkle test to see, and then I will vacuum out the ones that I'm not happy with, all of it. But it's just basically to give me an idea before I commit to the colour. So this is just a rough idea to see if I like it. So I'm just putting it on the black. The problem is I probably like it in the tree part, but not around the animals. Okay, so that's kind of the black. Sometimes slate grey is just nice if you like the project, how it looks before grouting. Sometimes a neutral colour, which usually is a slate grey, is quite nice. So I don't really like that, what it does on the actual tree. Makes it look a bit insipid, but it's good on the blue. Alright, now before I start grouting, let's talk about preparation. If you've got everything handy, you don't have to worry about a mess. I've got 2 sheets of paper, I've got spare gloves, I've got my cotton buds here for cleaning up, I've got my little lid here, plastic container I'm going to cut into a spatula. Just makes it for easy spreading the grout. So that's ready to go. Got my water, got my grout, got a paintbrush, got a broom. So we're all set to go. Right, so we'll start with a little bit of water at a time. Want to achieve the consistency of a toothpaste, peanut butter, roughly. So I've gone with slate grey. As I said previously, we have a few different heights in here, so I'll just show you how I find, for me, the easy way to clean up. So a bit of water at a time. Stir it. Alrighty, so I've stirred and stirred and stirred and stirred, and this is a good consistency. Not too sloppy and not too dry, so it just sits up there nicely. I'm going to let it sit for a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, re-stir it. I may put a bit more water in just to moisten up if it needs it. But another 5 minutes and then we'll start the grouting. Quick re-stir and that's pretty good. going to start up round by the tree. This is quite handy, this spatula, with it being flexible. It just helps to move the grout over and into the gaps and pushing it in. Okay, so I've got it all covered on top, so now I'm just going to slowly move it to the edge where I want to check the side also. So I'm just pushing it along, also just checking as I go that the holes are filled. A little bit down there and down the sides, moving the excess grout on and checking that no gaps, and also ensuring the sides are sealed with grout. Okay, move the excess up, checking for gaps, pretty good. Okay, so now I'm just using my finger just to pull out some of that excess grout, which is mainly around our different size petals. It just makes it easier when you're cleaning, doing the final cleanup. You haven't got loads of grout caked onto your wet rag. So, and it's a good way of also checking that you've got no gaps anywhere. So I'm pretty much happy with no holes anywhere. Checking the sides again. Pretty good. So what I might do is I'm going to leave it for 5 minutes and we'll come back and have another look. Buddy ho, I think it's time for a clean off. So it's just sort of starting to powder off quite nicely. Sometimes if you take the grout off too soon, it can pull it out of the gaps. So this way it should just powder off nicely. Looking lovely. Okay. So I've got a cloth, I'm just folding it in half, giving myself a flat surface. A little bit of water. So it's not a lot, it's just enough to help my cloth glide over the surface. I'm going to start down here, just in a circular motion. See how it's just taking that surface grout off nicely and leaving the grout in the gaps. And I think that's to do with perfect timing and also a flat area. Right, so just basically going to go over that gently like that the first time over. Same with the tree. This is going to take a bit of work, the old tree, but it'll be worth it. So I'm just getting the excess off, and then we'll spend some time with some Q-tips or cotton buds just to get this excess off. Just basically tidy these up a wee bit. So you just see the grout sometimes build up a little bit with a different height, so just flatten it down. Try not to gouge it out, we're just basically just flattening, taking the surface off. Getting out those pretty little hidden things under there, little leaves and things. See, I've got the stained glass little green bits. These are 3mm. The leaves are 4mm, I think. The little smarties are 5mm. And same with the Milleforay. So there's a few different heights in there. But by just working in a section at a time, you can just focus on bringing out those flowers. It's good having a dry brush. You can just sweep the excess onto the side there and then continue on. Okay, if you're not a patient person when it comes to cleaning up, I would suggest doing the project in all the same thickness tiles. However, if you want a challenge, it's just, I mean, I'm just taking my time cleaning it up. I'm not rushing, but you don't want to leave it for a couple of hours for sure. So I actually quite like these tedious tasks. But as I said, you can still achieve this look, but you can just use the same thickness of tiles. I've actually incorporated the 3mm, those little pieces of lime stained glass. So that's probably more the harder bits to clean up, really, because they're kind of buried. You've got to dig them out. But once you've sort of got them like that there, shake off the excess, and then you kind of can do a bit more fine tuning. And I'm just using a soft bristle brush because this doesn't pull the grout or scratch the grout out, but just helps to push it in and just get rid of any excess grout. And time for paper change, and then we'll do some more tidying up. Go back through with my little pick here and then just kind of fine tune it so it's going to look stunning. Right, just about finished cleaning up. So I'm just going to get around these caps as well, just to make sure that the grout is all flattened down. And then we'll take the paper off to do the big reveal. But you want to make sure that you wipe it all down before you take the paper off, because you don't want to scratch the acrylic. Just get around those edgings. Quick buff over. So as I said, if you are not really into grouting and don't have much patience, just make sure you use the same thickness in your tree top, and then it'll be less cleaning. Alright, time for a quick wet cloth on there again, slightly damp as before. He's trying to sneak off. Right, let's have a look. Oh. Just gently brush any excess grout off. I'm going to let this sit for another half an hour, and then I'm going to get a warm soapy cloth wrung out and then just give it a final buff. It's a good time to double check. But otherwise it's looking good.